Muscle cars that died too soon, killed by timing, not power. Welcome back to Vintage Wheels Chronicles. Today's episode is all about muscle cars that had the power, the looks, and the potential, but never got a fair chance. Sometimes even great cars fail, not because they were bad, but because the timing was all wrong. Fuel crises, economic shifts, changing trends, they all played a role in killing some incredible machines too soon. Let's take a closer look at 3 underrated muscle cars that should have ruled the streets, but got buried by bad luck. These are the stories of muscle legends that died too soon. 1. Le Sueur, 1973 Pontiac Grand Am, 455, luxury muscle that came too late. In 1973, Pontiac introduced the Grand Am, a unique blend of luxury, European style, and good old-fashioned American V8 power. It was designed to be Pontiac's answer to BMW and Mercedes, but with more muscle under the hood. And it delivered, especially when ordered with the optional 455 cubic inch V8. This massive engine produced 250 net horsepower and 370 pound-feet of torque, making the Grand Am surprisingly fast for its size. It had a bold front end with a shovel-nose design and vertical slotted grille inspired by Ferrari. The interior was advanced for the time: real wood grain, thickly bolstered seats, and aircraft-style vents. It came standard with radial-tuned suspension, delivering a smoother, more controlled ride. The car could corner far better than most muscle machines of its time. It was sporty, refined, and packed with power, a true luxury muscle car. But there was a problem. The 1973 oil crisis hit just as the car launched. Suddenly, big engines and fuel-hungry cars became a liability, not a status symbol. Insurance costs skyrocketed, fuel prices surged, and buyers backed off. The Grand Am's sales never lived up to its performance. Many buyers just didn't know what it was. A sports luxury hybrid ahead of its time. Pontiac tried to market it aggressively, but it was caught between 2 eras. It was too fancy for muscle car fans and too wild for luxury buyers. Even though it offered 1/4-mile times in the 15-second range, it never earned street respect. It only lasted 3 years before being softened into a more basic personal car. Today, it's one of the most forgotten muscle cars Pontiac ever built. But car fans who've driven one know it had serious potential. The 455 made it move, the chassis made it handle, and the looks were like nothing else. If it had launched just a few years earlier, it could have been a star. Instead, it was lost in the oil-soaked chaos of the 1970s. The Grand Am 455 is a classic case of right car, wrong time. 2. 1974 Dodge Charger SE, the muscle car in a tuxedo. By 1974, the Dodge Charger was evolving. Gone was the pure muscle machine of 1968 to 70. In its place came the Charger SE, a luxury-themed performance car. It still had attitude, with its wide grille, hidden headlights, and long fastback body. And under the hood, you could still get the 440 Magnum V8, pumping out 275 net horsepower. The Charger SE had power, but it had changed clothes, trading racing stripes for vinyl tops and opera windows. It now aimed at the personal luxury market, competing with cars like the Ford Thunderbird. Inside, it was plush, velour seats, wood-grain dash, and quiet ride quality. But the DNA of the old Charger was still there, lurking under the sheet metal. Many SEs were ordered with bucket seats, release packages, and rear spoilers. It could still burn rubber, just with a bit more class. However, buyers didn't want classy. They wanted the raw muscle of the earlier Chargers, or the economy cars being pushed during the oil crisis. The SE got stuck in an identity crisis. It was too soft for Mopar muscle fans, but too aggressive for luxury buyers. Sales dropped, and the Charger's reputation started to fade. Performance magazines ignored it. calling it a has-been. But those who owned them knew they were still fast and fun. The 440-powered SEs could run mid-15s in the quarter mile. Not bad for 1974. The car handled well and rode smooth on long highway cruises. But it was clear, the Charger had lost its way. It was a performance machine forced into a velvet robe. And sadly, the public never fully embraced it. Production dropped, and Dodge shifted focus to other models. Today, most collectors overlook the '74 Charger SE entirely. But some know its secret. It still got Mopar thunder under the hood. It just came a few years too late. The muscle era was over, and this car arrived right as the curtain closed. The Charger SE is a stylish, misunderstood reminder of how quickly things changed. 3. 1977 Ford Mustang II, Cobra II 302 V8, the bright spot in a dark era. The Mustang II, often considered the black sheep of the Mustang family. But buried within that much-maligned generation was a bright flame, the Cobra II with the 302 V8. By 1977, most muscle cars were neutered, heavy, slow, and emissions strangled. But the Mustang II Cobra II tried to fight back. It had bold racing stripes, side scoops, spoilers, and the legendary Cobra name. Its 302 V8 made just 139 horsepower. Not much by 60s standards, but decent for the era. And thanks to its lightweight Pinto-based chassis, it was surprisingly quick and nimble. The car looked fast, even if its numbers weren't impressive on paper. But with a 4-speed manual, it offered a more engaging drive than most of its competitors. It handled better than earlier Mustangs and was more fuel efficient. And best of all, it brought the Mustang back to a more compact, sporty formula. Ford was trying to respond to market trends, and the Cobra II was their muscle-flavored answer. It deserves more respect than it gets. It's rare now, too, especially clean, unmodified versions. The Cobra II represents a brave attempt to keep the flame burning during the darkest time in muscle car history. It may not have roared, but it growled just enough. And in 1977, that was a win. The Cobra II wasn't a failure, it was a survivor, a small spark in an otherwise fading fire, and proof that even in tough times, the Mustang still had muscle in its blood. Not every muscle car got its moment in the sun. Some were just born at the wrong time, caught in the storms of oil crises and market shifts. But make no mistake, these cars had muscle, charm, and soul. They just needed a little more luck. Which of these underrated machines would you give a second chance? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep cruising with us at Vintage Wheels Chronicles every week.